Protests near the DPR on Monday, August 25, 2025 disrupted KRL services around Palmerah. Trains on Rangkas Bitung line turned back at Kebayoran from 4:33 p.m. Police, TNI, and KAI security protected the track area as student groups headed to Senayan by train. A Dutch tourist died while diving at Siabat Turtle Point, Taman Nasional Komodo. He was evacuated by speedboat to Labuan Maju after CPR efforts failed. Kuwait pulled out of the September FIFA matchday game against Indonesia. PSSI will pivot to focus on the Lebanon match in Surabaya with training time extended for the squad. Good evening and welcome to SIP TV. Coming up next, we've prepared more compelling stories for you in tonight's edition of SIP News Highlight, August 26, 2025. I'm Zahwa Adelia Putri Damanik. Stay with us only on SIP News Highlight. Crowd control at the DPR or MPR complex in Jakarta tightened on Monday, August 25, 2025 after parts of the protest moved toward the rail corridor near Palmerah. KAI commuter closed the Tanah Abang Palmerah sector for safety and turned Rangkas Bitung Trades and Kebayoran from 4:30 p.m. WIB. Joint teams from Polri, TNI, and KAI security worked to clear the track zone.
The afternoon protests around the DPR or MPR complex affected the Tanah Abang Rangkas Bitung road. Field teams observed people near the track by Palmerah station and incidents of stone throwing that halted a passing train for a short time. KAI security supported police and soldiers to secure the right of way and move crowd away from the ballast and the level crossing. KAI commuter applied emergency operating patterns from 4:30 p.m. Service from Rangkas Bitung turned back at Kebayoran. The Tanah Abang Palmerah segments was shut to protect passengers, crews, and assets. The operator asked users to follow station guidance and to use alternative station if needed. Service chains pushed some commuters to walk toward Palmerah. Tactical spectacles and water cannon were used to disperse groups that tried to re-enter the corridor. The tension occurred in several spots as officers removed barricades and cleared the bars. At the same time, groups of high school students in white-gray uniforms took KRL from Citayam and Depok Baru towards Senayan. They said they want to voice concern, including about tax policy. Their movement added to passengers' load on several stations even as restrictions stay in place near Palmerah. By early evening, rain helped thin the crowd in Senayan and Pejompongan. Security posts remained in place while rail staff inspected the line and monitored the level crossing. Normal operation depend on safety check and crew condition. From Jakarta, the SIP TV News team for SIP News Highlight.
This disruption followed a weather call to rally at the DPR. The rail closure at Turnback Plan began at 4:30 p.m. WIB to keep the corridor safe. The next package explained the timeline, the rail protection steps, and how joint forces handle pressure points around Palmerah and Pejompongan. It also looks at the student flow to Senayan and the impact on evening commuters.
Mobilization built through the day with shifting pressure on access route and back gates of the DPR or MPR complex. In early afternoon, officers pushed group away from the main gate. By mid-afternoon, the Palmerah site became the focus as more people gathered near the level crossing. KAI commuter, sitting user, and asset safety restricted the Tanah Abang Palmerah sector and ordered a Kebayoran turn back for the Rangkas Bitung line. The operator also increased security personnel at Palmera, Sudirman, and Tanah Abang. Medical support and rescue vehicles stood by. Passengers were advised to consider alternative stations and to follow staff instructions. Despite these steps, some people walk long distance to reach Palmera, and trains south of Kebayoran ran with higher load than normal. Mixed groups were present near Senayan and in Pejompongan alleys, including students. After water cannon and tear gas in several incidents, clusters broke up, regrouped, and then thinned when heavy rain arrived. Commanders from police and military supervised posts through the evening. Quarries include debris on ordinary tracks, crowds at the level crossing, and objects thrown from the corridor. The inspection process focused on the integrity of the line, signals, and station access. If check, pass, and crew levels remain low, service can return to normal. If new calls to really continue this week, the operator may repeat the turnback plans to protect users and staff. From Jakarta, the SIP TV News team for SIP News Highlight.
As of Monday night, restrictions remain on the Tanah Abang Palmera sector while inspections continue. Rangkas Bitung services still turn at Kebayoran. Security posts stayed alert around Palmera and Pejompongan. Authorities asked commuters to check at _commuter line for live updates and to plan extra travel time. Any new protest permits in coming days will shape the real and road security posture on this corridor. Finance Minister Sri Mulyani said the state will provide funding for two institutions created by Presiden Prabowo, the Badan Otorita Pengelola Pantai Utara Jawa, Pantura Authority, and the Badan Industri Mineral. She spoke at the Presidential Palace, Jakarta on Monday, August 25, 2025 in WIB time.
Sri Mulyani explained that once a new state body is formed, its operating needs are met through the standard budget mechanism. She didn't disclose figures but confirmed readiness to allocate funds for both institutions. The Pantura Authority was formed to lead planning, construction, and management of the giant seawall along the north coast of Java. Minister of State Secretariat Prasetyo Hadi said the move answered urgent needs: land subsidence, routine tidal flooding, and protection of roughly 20 million coastal residents. Leadership was formalized at the palace on Monday. Prabowo appointed Deputy Minister of Marine Affairs and Fisheries Legdia TNI. Didit Herdiawan Asraf as a head, with Darwin Trisna Jajawinata and Suharja Diantoro as deputies. The appointment cites Presidential Decree number 76P/2025. A second institution, the Mineral Industry Agency, will manage strategic material for the defense sectors, including rare earth elements and radioactive minerals. Prabowo appointed Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology Brian Yuliarto as head under Presidential Decree number 77P/2025. Brian said the mandate is vital for sovereignty and should also support economic gains through technology and industry link. The TIC Finance separately supports Sri Mulyani's short confirmation at the palace. If a body is formed, the funding follows, with details to be settled in the usual process. From Jakarta, the SIP TV News team for SIP News Highlight.
As of Monday night, both agencies have leadership in place and legal growth via CAPERS. Next, the Finance Ministry will map funding needs into the government budgeting path, while the Pantura Authority coordinates across provinces and investors, and the Mineral Agency aligns with defense and research networks. Immediate signals to watch: implementing regulations, organizational structures, and early work plans tied to the giant seawall and strategic mineral management. Viewers, after this break, we will be back with more exciting news. Stay tuned. You're still with me, Zahwa Adelia Putri Damanik, in the SIP News Highlight. For those of you who are new to the show, you can also follow tonight's entire news series live on the official SIP TV YouTube channel. A Dutch visitor identified as Julius van Bel died while diving near Pulau Siaba, Taman Nasional Komodo, Labuan Bajo on Sunday, August 24, 2025. Harbor officials said the diver lost consciousness during the activity. CPR was performed at sea and on the way to Labuan Bajo, but he did not survive.
The incident occurred during a group dive of Siaba Turtle Point, a popular site inside Taman Nasional Komodo. The group sailed aboard the dive boat Hiu Bodoh with 24 other passengers. During the dive, the tourists reportedly fainted underwater. A nearby speedboat heard a rescue call from Hiu Bodoh's tender and moved to help. According to the local harbor authority, Keisha Bandaran and Otoritas Pelabuhan or KSOP. First respondents on board began cardiopulmonary resuscitation in drugstores, and the dive master continued CPR while transferring the victim to a speedboat for a faster run to Labuan Bajo. Medical staff kept resuscitation efforts going on board and in the ambulance after docking. The diver was later declared dead at the Labuan Bajo hospital. Authorities said standard procedures would follow, including coordinator with the hospital and the forensic consult. The diving operator and relevant agencies are expected to prepare chronology notes and safety documentation as part of the report. No details were released on the victim's medical history, dive profile, or the exact cause of loss of consciousness. Marine safety has been under close watch in Komodo waters. In recent weeks, separate incidents included a foreign tourist and a local tour guide who died while snorkeling at different locations. Local officials have urged operators and visitors to keep strict safety checks, including body system briefings and awareness of currents at high-traffic sites like Siaba, Takamakassar, and Gili Lawa. As of Monday morning, the body remained at a hospital in Labuan Bajo pending consular arrangement and further administrative steps. The KSOP said they would compile findings from crew, dive staff, and witnesses to complete the incident report. From Manggarai Barat, the SIP TV News team for SIP News Highlight.
The immediate focus is on formal identification, medical examination, and coordination with the Dutch consulate for repatriation. Local port and park authorities are reviewing the sequence at Siaba Turtle Point, including response time and communications between vessels. Any public update on cause and contributing factors will depend on the official report and medical review. Tour operators in Labuan Bajo are advised to maintain heightened safety checks amid strong tourist flows to Komodo National Park. Viewers, the Kejaksaan Negeri Kejari Pematang Siantar is investigating 3 CD tenders funded by APBD 2025 after complaints from losing bidders. On Thursday, August 21, 2025, Whip Kajari Erwin Purba said Special Crimes is collecting data on possible action, stage violations, and any outside pressure on the selection of winners.
Kejari Pemantang Siantar opened the review after receiving pengaduan masyarakat or DUMAS about tender procedures. The focus is the bid process, documentation, and any attempt to stir the result. The Special Crimes Pitsus team is taking statements from winners and relevant officials, while intelligence supports access and security during evidence gathering at UKPBJ. 3 projects are under scrutiny. First, construction of the DPRD office building. Reporting puts the job value around 7 billion rupiah, with CP Bukit Sion list as the winner and Dinas PUTR as the budget user. Second, construction of the Dinas PUTR office, owned by CP Hasuruan and value at about 5 to 6 billion rupiah. Third, the Public Healthy Laboratory, or Laboratorium Kesehatan Masyarakat, also owned by CP Hasuruan, with a budget of around 7 plus billion rupiah. All 3 are under execution this semester. On the same day, about 20 people demonstrated at the Kejari office, alleging a prosecutor's interference. The protest was received by the Civil and State Administration section after a brief response starting any report follow inter-supervision procedure. The groups disappeared. Later that afternoon, the Kejari publicly denied the interference claim. He said prosecutors were on the ground to collect data under official assessment later. He also noted indication of pressure from an individual who claimed closeness to duty of the Pokja in the procurement system. Next steps include document checks. Timeline versus Perpres 16/2017. Next steps include document checks. Timelines versus Purpose 16/2018 and its amendments, and any communication that could show undue influence. Findings will determine whether the case escalates to an investigation stage. From Pemantang Siantar, the SIP TV News team for SIP News Highlight.
Status tonight. Data collections continues under Pitsus with support from intelligence. The prosecutors will compare bid files, clarifications, and scoring records with procurement rules. City projects continue while the review runs. Signals to watch this week: any call for clarification from UKBPJ, formal summons to company directors, and coordination with Kejati Sumut if the matter advances to a full investigations. A self-styled money doubler was arrested in Percut Seituan, Deli Serdang after a client was found dead following a so-called ritual on Saturday, August 16, 2025. Police said the suspect attacked the client, disposed of the body near Palu Merbau, and then assaulted the victim's daughter at his home 2 times later that day.
Police opened the case after the victim's adult daughter reported an assault at the suspect's house in Desa Cinta Rakyat, Percut Seituan. Investigators from Polsek Medan Tembung traced the timeline to a ritual the suspect arranged with the victim on August 16. The suspect allegedly took the victim by motorcycle, stopped to buy a coconut as a proof, and moved to a secluded area. There, the victim was told to sit and burn in cans. The suspect then attacked from behind with a sharp weapon and left the body in a swampy zone near Palu Merbau. The suspect returned to his house where the victim's daughter was waiting. She was ordered to sit for another ritual, then began the strangle when she questioned her father absent. She managed to fight back and escaped to seek help. The report triggered a search. Several days later, residents found a decomposing body in waters near the mangrove and plantation area. Police linked it to the missing client through family confirmation and forensic. Police arrested the suspect on Saturday, August 23, 2025, on a riverbank in Desa Cinta Rakyat. During a field reconstruction, the suspect resisted and was shot in the legs under the police necessary force procedure. He received treatment at RS Bayangkara and was moved to Polsek Medan Tembung for further questioning. Photographs from the arrest show the suspect in a wheelchair with bandaged legs. Police said the alleged motive stemmed from a dispute over the money doubling promise. Investigators say a machete or golo, a motorcycle, and a phone as evidence. Case files will determine the final changes, include the possibility of premeditated murder and violent assault. Patrols around Palu Merbau have been reinforced while the inquest proceeds. Serdang, the SIP TV News Team or SIP News highlight.
As of Monday evening, the suspect remains in custody, with investigators finalizing the crime scene chronology, witness statements, and lab reports. Police advised the public to report fraudulent money doubling offers and avoid secluded ritual locations. Next signals, formal charge registration, a full autopsy report, and a reconstruction at both the suspect's house in Desa Cinta Rakyat and the Palu Merbau disposal site. Authorities say further arrests are possible if any accomplices are identified. Viewers, after this break, we will be back with more exciting news. Stay tuned. Thank you, viewers, for staying with us on SIP News Highlight. For those of you who have just joined, you can also follow tonight's full news coverage live on SIP TV's official YouTube channel. We continue with news from Indonesia's plane friendly against Kuwait on Friday, September 5, 2025 is off. PSSI Chair Erick Thohir said Kuwait has officially withdrawn, including from a separate mini-tournament in the UAE. Indonesia will now concentrate on facing Lebanon at Gelora Bung Tomo, Surabaya on Monday, September 8, 2025.
The September FIFA window was set to bring towards ASEAN opponents Kuwait and Lebanon to Surabaya. Ticketing and early promotion had rolled out and head coach Patrick Kluivert named his clubs. The plane changed on Monday, August 25, 2025, when Erick Thohir confirmed that Kuwait sent a letter withdrawing from the friendly. He added that Kuwait also stepped away from a scheduled mini-event in the United Arab Emirates. Thohir didn't speculate on the cause, saying he would not interfere with Kuwait internal matters. He underlined that Indonesia will keep the window productive by sharpening the squad for Lebanon. Coordination with Kluivert followed, shifting the week's microcycle toward a longer training block, set-piece tuning, and chemistry work for recent arrivals. Operationally, the pivot reduced stadium load on September 5 and simplifies security and logistics in Surabaya. Broadcaster and ticket partner will adjust their placement around a single match day. PSSI is also exploring whether an internal scrimmage or closed-door session can replace some match rhythms lost with quiet exit. For supporters, the key date is now the Lebanon Games at Gelora Bung Tomo. The victors remains within the FIFA window and provides a useful benchmark against a physically disciplined side. Several players who joined late in June's qualifier get extra day to integrate under FIFA's structure. Indonesia's staff will monitor any last-minute opening for a replacement opponent, but timelines are tight. The winner goal remains clear. Use September to refine repressing stringer, rest defensive, and transition ahead of October's World Cup qualifying commitment. From Jakarta, the SIP TV News team for SIP News Highlight.
Status tonight. Quiet is out. Indonesia-Lebanon stays on track for Monday, September 8, 2025 in Surabaya. PSSI and the coaching team will maximize the extended prep window and update fans on any scheduling tweaks. Watch for final training reports, probable 11 notes, and medical updates later this week. The federation also signals that a late replacement for September 5 is unlikely given the short notice. Next news for viewers. Indonesia footballer Pratama Arhan and influencer Aziza Salsa had their divorce ruled by First Take at PA Tiga Raksa, Tangerang on Monday, August 25, 2025. The case was filed on August 1 and held two hearings August 11 and 25. The court awaits the 14-day response window and the ikrar talak.
PA Tiga Raksa confirmed a first take ruling, meaning the decision came without the respondent's presence. Both sides were represented by attorneys. Co-spokesman Muhammad Solahuddin said the divorce is not yet final. It needs the ikrar talak and must pass the 14 days period for any objection. The timeline is clear. Arhan filed a talak petition on August 1, 2025. The first hearing was August 11. The second hearing on August 25 produced the first ruling. Solahuddin added that if no objection arrive within 14 days, the decision against legal force. The court will then set the ikrar talak session, which Arhan must attend or authorize as acquired. Only after the ikrar will the divorce be fully effective. Public reaction moved fast. Posts on Arhan's Instagram drew a wave of supportive comments after news of the ruling. Several mainstream outlets note the unusual volume of support Arhan message under his recent uploads while he prepared for Bangkok United. This is a snapshot of online opinions, not a legal factor. Background to the media spotlight includes Aziza's recent police report against the social media accounts for alleged defamation on August 12, 2025. Her father, politician Andre Rosiade, earlier warned of legal action. These steps are separate from the family court process. The couple married on August 20, 2023. At the Indonesia Mosque in Tokyo, the court's current focus is due process to complete the talak stage and finalize status under Indonesia family law. From Tangerang Regency, the SIP TV News team for SIP News Highlight.
Status tonight. PA Tiga Raksa has ruled by First Take, with the case in 14-day window before an ikrar talak is scheduled. If no objections is filed, The court will set the ikrar and close the process. Media attention remains high as both parties keep privacy. Signals to watch any legal objections, the court's ikrar schedule, and official statements from representatives. SIP News TV viewers, that concludes all the information we've presented for tonight's edition of SIP News Highlight. Thank you for staying with us. We'll continue to bring you to the latest and most reliable updates every day. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and activate your YouTube notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming news. I'm Zahwa Adelia Putri Damanik, along with the entire news team, signing off for tonight. See you in the next edition of SIP News Highlight.